I'm just going to get myself set up here on the other side. And no, we don't want that. Let's see here. All right, I've got everything up so I can see the chat. If you're there, let me. Hello, Dawn. How are you doing? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Oh, wonderful. We can hear and see me. All right. I hope you're not in this heat wave that we've got going on. It's a doozy. It's a doozy. But how have you been? And you see my beautiful things. Yes. We are going to continue with the Crafty Haul project. Hello, Joe. How are you? Welcome. Oh, Dawn, you saw the deed. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's like a title or a deed or a property thing. I wasn't quite sure what to call that. So, we just went through that. I am going to real quick go through the pieces again because it's very piecemealed with what I'm doing. This is like again, I never heard of Creep on June. Never knew, June was the Halloween type thing. We always heard about, Christmas in July. Now, I do like Halloween, and I like the creepy, not too creepy. I don't like haunted houses. I don't like horror films or anything like that. But I do like, creepy decor, nothing that jumps at you. I'm very odd. I'm very odd. It's it's just really cool. And it's not for everybody. And I fully know that. Um a lot of times if people are into Halloween, it's the cute side of Halloween, and I like the cute side of Halloween too. But um I just fell in love with how this was set up by Tracy Fox from Fox Creative. She just her and her partner just did a fantastic job with this. So between reading the story and getting the kit, it is an extremely large kit. And I have to say, I planned this. I'm finding more and more with the albums and journals that I do, I kind of plan them. So let's real quick go over what we've got so far. Now this is all 16 through 30, so I'm just going to put that aside because they're folded up the same way as the first. So far, this is leading up that it's going to be a 3 signature journal with 2 full signatures. And then the center signature is going to be the case file. That's going to just sit in the center. Now, I know already that this more than likely is going to be an alligator mouth style journal where it's almost going to sit like this. I don't know how bad, but I'm already seeing that. So I have to control myself. And it's very tough to add dimension and everything else into the pieces when it comes. Oh, Dawn, you were playing with my stamps. Thank you. I'm so glad you're enjoying them. And Dawn, I do too. I like a chunky journal. I do love a chunky journal, and this is definitely going to get there. because with this being in the center, you can see the deeds already coming out. Now, I may have it where our deed is going to sit on the back. And I think that would be really cool if we did that as well. So if I clip this here, it adds just the right amount of decoration for the back of the journal. So I believe this is where this is going to house and get housed, so that I have just a little bit more room. So that's what we're looking at. Of course, this is our cover. I've got 2 lace pockets inside. I've sewn these panels and then put them in. And it's going to be a hidden spine. And I am going to make sure that I show the hidden spine in either a pre-recorded live talk, real-time video that I like doing. And then because through watching people, I, watched how they did theirs, and I'm like, okay, that's why they do that. So there are tricks to make sure that as you're sewing your journals in, they're even. They don't go what I refer to as cattywampus. Oh, thank you, Joe. I appreciate you. I'm glad that you think this is gorgeous. I'm really liking this. I know this one's going to be tough if I put this one up for sale. Yeah, just saying. But there is a trick, and I tried it in the journal. I forget what journal I had sewn together. Yeah. Oh, there was the one that I showed for someone. It had 3 signatures in it, and they were even, somewhat. Nothing's ever perfect with me. But it came out really well, and it worked. So use the black matte paste. Absolutely loved it. Used a couple of stencils. I have no idea how I'm going to decorate the cover as of yet. So this here is our deed. That video just went up. So I have a piece of sari silk that just ties around it. These awesome skull safety pins that do not open. And I did not know that. But I attached 2 large keys to it. That was something that I didn't show, something I did afterwards. And then we have our red seals that go across there. So I do think that this is going to be housed on the back and be clipped in some way so that you can open it and look at the deed to make it interactive. We have our case file here with this type of a closure, so I'll have to remember to open that. And this is from the investigators when it comes to the case of the Crafty haul, and with the suspicious nature of what was going on at this location, and all of the turbulence that had gone there. But it has a happy ending. So just, just a warning that it does deal with the supernatural and ghosts. So if you're not into that, then stay away. But it is really a good story. So we have the case in here. We have the picture of the haul. And then when you lift this up, you can then see the property back in there. And I don't think, I think I glued that down because I put all these little tiny pockets and tucks, and then I forget where I put them. We have Dorothy Blakely. She's one of the investigators, and you can journal on the other side of her. We have Carl Edwards, and the same thing. You can journal on the other side of him as well. Some of their notes. Again, you can journal on the other side of this, and you can also open this up for more journaling space. And then we have Ernest Brundle, and this is actually a pocket. It's a side pocket, so you can tuck something in there. And then we have our pocket there. So then we have that. So that is going to be our centerpiece, our center signature. So I'll have to open this up so that I can sew this down in there. For the main body, so Christmas in July, we usually just do projects there. But what also goes on, well, as we get closer to Christmas, you'll see the 25 days of Christmas where you can make a December daily. and you can just journal every day. It's almost like those advent calendars. So this is kind of set up that way as well. There are 30 different bases that were created in the kit. So there's going to be 30 different days. And what I've turned my journal in, the collaborators that she pulled for this are doing just wonderful projects, and each one is very unique and different. So there's one, and I forget her name. Oh, horrible of me. She's actually creating it like a diary. Mine's like a journal, literally, of the people that moved in the last time and were able to pull the investigators in and rectify the problem, put the ghosts at ease. So I'm kind of making it a journey that they went through. Let's see, just looking for questions. Let's see about the pins not opening. Yes, I was very upset about the pins not opening, Dawn. But you know what? They're good. You can put, hoops on them and hang charms from them. So they're doable. It's absolutely doable. They're just big charms. But yeah, not pins. So, and I realized it during the video. Just saying. So when it comes to the two large signatures, I've got tracing paper and then the pages that come in. And what's in the beginning that's going to start off our journal is the wedding and the courtship of our two characters here for Jeffrey and Rose. So this is the letter that Rose wrote to Mr. Binder, and this here is the letter that Jeffrey wrote to Rose. We have some butterflies, a tag. This is a pocket. We kept the envelopes as the pockets. It's very double-sided as well. And then when it comes to the tracing paper, I did the same thing. We've got a mirror image that's going on so that we don't see the whites of the back of the pages, because that would have driven me crazy. But I'm liking this idea because you can see through it. Someone commented that she's really enjoying the tracing paper in between, because it's like the old style photo albums where there was tracing paper in between. So it brought that memory back for her. So I thought that was really interesting to see. It is different, Dawn, with the papers hanging out. Usually I have tassels and ribbons and this explosion. I do like my pages to have these explosions coming out of them. Not everybody does. Usually just maybe a tag with a charm coming off, and I like that too. But this one, I just want to look somewhat chaotic, that someone's actually paging through it and things could just fly out because all of these papers and notes and pictures and all of that other stuff was just put in here. So that's what this section, and each day is going to be set up this way, where you have a side of the pattern paper from the digital kit, a piece of the tracing paper in between, and then the other side will be a piece of coffee dye paper. So you're always going to have those three. Now, next time for day one, the coffee dyed paper is going to be on this side, you'll see, then the tracing paper, then the pattern paper. So you're going to have that difference, but each day is going to be this technically 3-page layout that will continue through. I did do day one, and here's day one. I am pulling in some stamps as well. So I just put a stamp here. It's a peony to make it look like a rose. I just wanted that in the background. And what I'm using for the inspiration for each of the days are the tags. So for each base that you got in the kit, there's this little tiny tag, and it's got a statement from the story. For day one, it says the site was a settlement that was decimated by plague in 1665. So where this house was built, and the location where the house was built in the area that it was surrounded by, they had plague. So that's what I'm going with when it comes to all of the ephemera that you can pull and so forth. So here I've got a belly band. This paper matches this paper here. And then we have our base. So this is where we started reading about it. We have some books. I added one of the stamps from Tim Holtz, one of his ticket stamps. I think I have that here. So this is the die set, but this is what the stamps look like. So I'll be pulling those in. And then when you open this, you have the inside, and then you have a spot inside that you can journal. And you can certainly journal on here and add more papers to journal inside there. But again, it's just a little tiny tuck spot. Added a little bit lace on the other side of that. And this will actually hook on to that band to hold that in place so it doesn't slide through, since it is a horizontal. No, you're not crazy. This is not straight. I purposely put it in crooked. Just to have that dimension, but I can't do this too much. And what I'm using for dimension, cardboard pieces. Yes. Now, this is pretty thick to use cardboard for that. So what I'm doing is when I put it down there, I push it. I push it down to flatten it out, and then it makes it less thick. All right. Since it said the plague, one of the characters that you had was this character here. Eerie, I know, but it kind of reminded me of the plague. I added some gold wax to the top. This stuff here, this stuff is awesome. Just for a little bit of shimmer onto it. And then again, we can journal on the back. Now, there was one piece in the kit. This is actually one piece. I tore that in half, so it's sitting on each side with the paper in between and lined it up. So this now is a tuck. And it can be a tuck on either side. So you have a spot where you can put some things and just hold them in there. This is going to sit up, and again, it is going on an angle. So there may be a charm that comes off of this, or it may stay that like that. That's not for day one. It's got to sit over there. Once we have this back in, when we turn, I've got another one that's sitting here. So this is like the turning mechanism. You can also journal on the tracing paper if you want. You can write on that. You can put other papers on that. You can collage on that, whatever it is. Again, all of the extra bits that I have will be put throughout this journal, so you can have fun sticking them wherever you would like. And again, this is another tuck spot here that you can put something. And this here is a pocket. So you can put things there. And again, it's going to stick out from the top. Or you can just make them shorter and not have them stick out. Your choice. This is a pocket as well. So they have pockets. So this here looked, decimated. Again, the plague. This is the area that was affected by this. So that's kind of the theme of that. And that is our day one. So that's what each of these spreads are going to resemble. It's going to journal what this little card says. Okay? Let's see. Dawn, that's the way we used to pop things. Yes. Yes, Dawn. Yes. I've got so much cardboard. I need to start using it. So, as you can see, these are the 3 pages for day one. So when we turn, now we've got day 2. So we're going to work on this side. We'll work on this. And then we'll work on this. Because when we turn this, then we'll be at day 3. Okay? Alrighty, so let's get started. Again, just looking, and I'm always going to keep an eye on what's sticking out, what's coming out, and doing all of that fun stuff as well. So, we're going to push this off just a little bit to the side. It's really tough for me to not sew the signatures in the book. I do like to sew my signatures in, then decorate. But for this one, I'm kind of glad that I didn't, because like with those two pieces that I separated, I'm able to just tuck them in just a little bit when it comes to these pieces. I am sewing some pieces, but not many. I don't want to do too much sewing when it comes to this. So for this one, day 2, the base is a file folder. Beautiful paper. Absolutely love it. And then here are our tags. And this one says, in the early 1700s, a church was built on the plot with a small cemetery. Okay. So these are your base pages that you got, because we have, we have the raven that we've got going on there. So here I found within all the ephemera, there's a picture of a church, and we're going to put this into like this type of frame. So we're going to have that. And then here's a picture of the cemetery. And then we have a picture of another cemetery that we can put in. And then we have these two that we'll be playing with and creating something, I think. And then, of course, we have our raven. We've got to have our raven. Now, the first thing I do want to get in are our tags. Our title tags is what I'm going to call them, are always going to sit on the tracing paper, because then that will show where that's going through. Hello, Cordelia. How are you doing? See, Joe, that's how my cookbooks look, with everything sticking out of the boundaries of the book. Who needs boundaries anyway? Exactly. That's awesome, Joe. Yes. Yes, we don't need any boundaries. We should have fun. Absolutely. Just have fun. Because when we make it all tucked in there, we're going to forget where it is. And we're not going to be able to find it. That's my reasoning. My complete reasoning. Okay. So I am using 2 different inks as I'm inking these. Of course, one is Vintage Photo. Absolutely. I am coming in around the edges first and making sure it comes in further than normal. And then on the very edge, I'm not using black soot. You could absolutely use black soot. I'm actually coming in with scorched timber. It's a very, very deep, dark brown, very close to black. But that combination is really giving me this kind of look that I'm going for when it comes to this journal. I do want to clip this carefully, because when I grab it, I need it to come in with one piece. So the first one I put down, we're going to put this one up. So I set the first one in place, could be any way. I do also want to go over the edge, just in case that is seen. And I'm going to have that one come out like that. And then we'll put the other one on the other side. And we're just going to line those up. Now, of course, these, when they were cut, they're not mirrored to each other, but that's why I'm making sure that I do ink the other side. And when I come in with my inks, I'm able to cover up anything that's sticking out if it's annoying me. Okay, Okay, so now we have what our story is sitting in there. I think I'm going to have that coming off like that. But I do want to, so with this file folder, I'm going to cover up this tab with a different tab. But this is going to be the journal spot. So a lot of the bases that you'll see through this are going to have, the bases are going to be what the journaling spot is, along with areas around the pages. And I did prep for this by pulling the pieces. So yeah, I'm actually thinking and planning on this one. Oh, Cordelia, you're not late. Oh no, you're never late. Never think that. Now, again, and I always say this. So, again, this type of Halloween or Halloween in general may not be your thing. I'm cool with that. Remember, always take the idea, like this would be cool to set up a journal like this for if you wanted to do a December daily. This would be great to set it up this way. Or maybe like, Joe, you have a cookbook. So you could set up doing a cookbook journal like this. That's the beauty of paper and being inspired. We can put our things all together the way that we want. So throughout, there are going to be a lot of these tags, you know, black, because I just think they add something to it. I like the fact too that, you know, that's hanging out. I'm not looking for perfection on this. So not. But I do want to fix this here so that it can be opened and you can journal when it comes to that. And I think I'm going to make it a tuck at the same time. Okay? But before I commit, I'm going to pin it. I'm going to put a pin in it. Just so that I remember when I do that. So I do. It helps if you pin it to the page. I am going to make sure too that nothing's coming out the bottom so that it can sit right. I know some people do that and I love it. Absolutely love it. But knowing me, it would topple over. So that is going to sit there like that. I think this will come off and this is what's going to sit in here for my raven. So now we'll flip that. And I like that you can see the raven through the tracing paper. Hello, Kim. How are you doing? And I hope you got, you saw that I I answered your question. We're going to move that because that's in my way. And let's say now we are just, so we've got some, you know, photos going on here, but we're going to make those pockets. So this pocket's going to go this way. This pocket's going to go that way. And I may put these, yes. Okay. So let's get these inked up. You know, I love my distress inks, but I really have trouble opening them. Does anybody else have trouble, or is that just me? Okay, good, Kim. I just wanted to make sure that you saw that. I hope it answered your question. All right, now what I am going to do with this frame, so it did have a white center. Wow, I just got ink all over my fingers on that one. So I did obviously cut that out. And what I'm going to do with this, I do want to add a brad. Again, love my metal findings, my metal pieces throughout. And I just want to, you know, we've got that little tiny screw there. And this probably really isn't technically a frame, but I'm turning it into one. And I'm going to use a small one to put in the center just to accent it. Again, just keeping an eye on the dimension that I'm adding throughout this piece. Cordelia, I want to start another. Oh, Cordelia, you're going to start another one. Okay. Soon. Yes, yes, yes. But I spent today mostly cleaning in here. Can't craft as my sets getting. You know, Cordelia, I'm the same way. I always have to do what I call a reset. Like after I'm done this live, oh, it's a big reset. Very big reset. Okay, so now we have that. And then I'm going to glue this in here, and I need to push that down. There we go. Flatten that out. There we go. And then we're going to have this in here as well. I don't want to prop that up. Usually I would, just to add a little bit of dimension, but I don't want to do that. But I do want to add more vintage photo coming in on the side. There we go. Let's see. I do have difficulty. That's what Kim says. So do you want to expand on that, Kim, and we can talk about it here, or we can do that later? That's totally your choice. You let me know. Because, you know, last time we had a whole discussion on glue. So, oh, Salah's not here. Okay, I'm going to wait to see if Salah shows up, because I did find out about she bought a PVC glue, but it's PVC -C, and there is a difference. Where'd that piece go? All right, so I am going to take this piece of cardstock, and I'm just going to glue it on these two sides real quick because I want to try something and I want to see if it works, and that's not going to work. Figured it out. Come on. Oh, thank you, Kim. These ink tops just drive me crazy. They really, they really do. And it's not just these, it's all of them. So what I'm trying to do here, as you all are probably sitting there saying, what is she doing? Is I'm trying to create a mechanism. Because I also love, making things, have fun. Okay. So now I've got this mechanism. And now what I'm going to do is add a piece of tape. Very strong piece of tape because I don't want this to go anywhere. Oh my goodness. And with this stuff, it can be very small. That's that U-line double-sided tape that I use. It's wonderful. Lasts forever. And then, well, I'm going to commit because this is going here. So we're going to put that there. And now, this should there we go. So this will swivel. And I'm going to put something over that. So that's a swivel. And then we're going to put this, and we're going to put that. So again, these are going to be pockets. And these are very thin pockets. Because again, this journal is going to have a lot of space to write in. It's, it has this. We've got these little tiny tucks going on here. So all throughout, we're going to have those areas. So I'm not worried that there's not going to be too much. Or in fact, no, I'm going to keep those in. It makes it look like the wall. So we have this too that can swing out. And if you swing it up this way and you turn the page, you can journal back on there and then swing it back down. Just something different. And then I'm going to get these all set up because these are going to come off and sit down on here as well because they are the exact same size, which I think is cool. So I hope everyone had a good weekend last weekend. Yeah. Like I said, I was actually away last weekend. I had an awesome time with my sister. We've always wanted to do, you know, retreats and stuff like that for our crafts. Now, she's a cross stitcher. She won't do anything else. She loves her cross stitch. So do I. I love my cross stitch too. I just don't get to do it as much anymore because paper took over, which I am thrilled about. So we make up our own retreat. And we do it like once a quarter, where we'll go to each other's house. Now, next time it's my turn. To host it. All right, now I'm going to turn that over. Okay. And now we've got this. So I definitely want to put a topper on this. So I was at her house, and here's the funny thing. We're about 10 minutes apart. So, you know, we don't go anywhere. We just go to each other's house. But I drive really slow. But we do. We really have fun because we don't do anything. We just sit and we craft on the things that we want to craft with. So she'll sit there and she'll do her counted cross stitch. And, you know, me, I'm always up in the air of what I want to do. So I bring a ton of stuff. But really what I did during that weekend was I did a little bit of Zentangling, designing my next stamp set. Yes, there will be a third that'll be out for the fall. So I started some ideas on that, and then I knitted my socks. Yes, I knitted my socks. That's what I did. Let's see, do you still make tags for yourself? Oh, yes. Oh, I have to do that. No, Dawn, that's a law. That's a law that I'm not allowed to not make her tags. I have to. I'm surprised she doesn't give me the box every year to fill. It's just saying. It's just, bless her heart. So I still do that. My mom was the one that used to always make my sister her socks, knitted them. And when my mom had passed a little bit ago, I knitted as well. So me and my mom, we did that together. We, when she passed, I took, not that I needed to, but I took all of her sock yarn. So now that I got back into it, because I had to remember all the stitches and everything else, meaning, you know, how you turn the heel and do all that stuff, it finally, you know, snapped right back with me. So now I'll make her socks for Christmas as well, in honor of our mom, when we do that. Oh, thanks, kid. We did. We had a really good time. And her husband cooked, and he is the best cook. My sister does not. She bakes, but she does not cook. And there's a difference. So Cordelia, your sister only does cross stitch as well. It all depends on what piece you're doing that you think it's torture. I do love it, find it very relaxing. Now, probably definitely the cross stitch that I like. I love to work on linen. So yeah, that a lot of people do look at that as torture. Kim, how do you keep your family from interrupting your retreat time? So, my sister's son no longer lives. He has his own apartment, so he's not there. Her husband usually stays upstairs in his office, and he sits up there. So he kind of, he just lets us go. Since he cooked for us, we allowed him to eat dinner with us. Yeah. Uh-huh. And then he would just, scurry off. So yeah, they kind of do. When we're here, my husband's hardly ever home. He golfs. So, yeah. And that's just doesn't. And again, I've made sure that my husband has his own place for his TV so that he can watch his baseball. He can watch his sports. I need to watch the things that I watch. So they really don't bother us. Because they have absolutely no interest. They'll come in and they'll say hello. They'll stay for a few minutes and then they realize that we're kind of ignoring them and then they'll walk away. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yes. And then we warn them, when we say, hey, we're doing this again. So, go do something else. Go have fun. Let's see. Haven't knitted socks in years. I hadn't either, Dawn. It had been about close to 10 years. My mom passed in 2012. And that was about the last time that I knitted socks because I knitted them with her. We used to go to a place on Sundays and we would just sit there and knit. And that was really the last time. And about 4 months ago, I picked it back up because I went through the attic. Purging is the best feeling in the world when you're cleaning your house. So I'm slowly getting through the attic and I found the box of sock yarn. And it took me a couple weeks, but it all came right back. Came back to me. Joe, that's great. That is perfect. That's what I want everyone to do. Okay? You know what? You're not a journaler. You don't want to make a junk journal. You don't, want to make these 3D projects that I put together or a scrapbook album. But yeah, you can take what we're doing, the techniques that we're using. Maybe you're not into grunge. Obviously, I am. So, okay, don't use the distress ink. Use different colors. Again, make the technique that we're doing your own. A lot of these collage techniques or something like that will certainly go with card making. Absolutely. That's wonderful. Oh, Cordelia, you take the easy way. You have your friend knit your socks. Perfect. I love that. Yes. Yes. Joe, you only watch me for junk journaling? Is that what you meant? Because that's just like, oh. Smart cookie. Kim, yes. I have to admit, my sister and we are very blessed for okay, I'm going to put my thumb here and I'm going to put glue down here and I want to put glue up here and I'm going to go into that a little bit. But I do want this to come off the page a little bit. Remember, we're creating that craziness. Okay. We are very blessed with the husbands that we have. A lot of people may think, we have those separate lives. We don't. We have very different interests. So, yeah, they just stay away. Because if they don't, they know they're going to get the evil eye. No. But they do. Now, my husband, when I did mine, my house was the first house that we did this in. My husband was supposed to take care of something and he forgot. So, I had to give him a lecture. Had to give him that lecture. Okay, so now we have our flip or our stick out there so that this will come out. The recipient can journal in this section here. And then we have our tag that can sit there. Or it can, you know, come down here. So whatever you're looking for, we didn't make it a pocket. We turned it into a tuck. Remember, a tuck for me is where you only have two sides adhered. A pocket would be if I did these two sides and the bottom. All right, so I call this a tuck with how I've got that done. So this can here, and it can be a surprise that it's the raven. I do have space here. Now, what I could do is I could stamp like I did in our first day. And I did that because this kind of took up a lot of space. There wasn't that much left when it came to that. So I think I'm going to leave this alone because, again, you can journal on that. You know, again, it's another place to write. What I might do is just add something small up in that corner and add that splash of color. And I think not that. So I also grabbed some of the Stampers Anonymous, the Halloween ones. And I think I'll use the Condemned would really look cool down there. What do you guys think? The Condemned, but I'm taking up space, or this little guy just down here in the corner? What do you think? My brother-in-law is a phenomenal cook. My husband's a phenomenal grill person. Phenomenal grill. Let's see. My dad said, my husband will bring me dinner. Oh, now see, that's nice, Kim. Yeah, my husband will do that once in a while, too. Or he'll come in and say, "Hun, when are you making dinner?" Just does that. 38 years. That is wonderful. Congratulations, Kim. That is absolutely wonderful. I think I am going to go with the Condemned, and I think I am going to go with this one here. Okay, let me grab my wax. So, but we did. We had a really, really nice time. Looking forward to next one. But I don't think the next one's till like September. Use Condemned. You got it. I'm going to use the Condemned. And I'm using brown ink for it because I kind of want it to be able to see it, but I don't want it to completely stand out and I can't see what I'm doing here. I don't want it to completely stand out with black. If I stamp an image like the tickets, then I will use the black for that. And I am okay that this did not stamp well. Totally cool. And then I'm going to use this little one. Just up in the corner here. Never need a perfect impression. Now, the color that I use when it comes to this, and I always use for my inking, the edges and everything else, I always use a distress ink. When I'm stamping on the actual journal pages, I always use an archival ink. This is potting soil. That's the brown shade that I like to use. I think it matches the coffee. I think they do have a coffee as well, but wow, it's really dark. It just didn't look right to me. All right, so now we have those pages. I'm just going to fold this up. Get these pages back in line. This poor piece of tracing paper is just taking a beating. So you can see when I close it, now again, the centers, you know, they get pushed down as you sew it. But you can see all of these things. There's that little tag there. These are the envelopes a little bit up there. So we've got those explosions going through. All right, so that is day 2. I think this kind of does look cool there, even though it's like, okay, it looks like it's part of the wall that broke off or part of the frame that broke off, and that's why this is able to swing. But again, just piece that's interactive. I can get that corner tucked up underneath that pocket too if I want. But again, this is dealing with the church that was built in the 1700s. And as I go through and look at things, once I'm done, I'll always go back. That's when I add the charms and everything else. So I'm sure there will be more that will be added to these pages as we continue. We are on 3. Let me get my stamps back where they belong, or else I will lose them. Okay, so 3. Yeah, 3 is kind of interesting here. Yeah, I have everything in a photo album marked with Post-its. It's just all over the place. So 3, in the early spring of 1863, work began on the building of what was to later become Crafty Hall. A doctor and his wife later take residence. So now we are moving and we are starting to build Crafty Hall. And again, I always have 2 of these. So I just need to trim this one out. Is anybody here a Stephen King fan? Not everybody is, but I don't know if anybody is. I'm a huge Stephen King fan. His books are just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So again, I can read it. And I can watch his movies, the movies that he created, not the ones that were remade. Let's see. I look at stamps that don't stamp perfectly, already distressed. Yes, that perfectly. Perfect. Yes, yes, yes. That is a big It is. It is. That is just like, woof. But I love the advertisements in this and these here. I mean, this is cool. This is cool. I also have this one because I like this. This is beautiful, but it kind of doesn't go with the thing. And I love that as well. So I thought I could use that also. I have his tickets. This was cool. I was going to put this when it came to the plague, but I'm like, okay, no. But I do like these advertisements. And then I have these flourishes that can just go in the backgrounds as well. Again, if I grab them. If I grab them. Oh, Kim, that sounds fun, going camping. Oh, what a celebration. 51 years. Oh, that is wonderful. So Kim asks, do you actually plan on using your journal? That's a good question. So this one, I'm not too sure. I don't know if I'm going to be keeping this journal or if I'm going to put it in my shop and available for purchase. What I would say is if I keep this, yes, I do write in my journals. I have many journals that I do write in for specific reasons. I find writing very, very therapeutic for me. And again, not for everybody. This journal here, while yes, you can journal through it, it's specific, but you can journal anything that you want in here. I'm sure maybe somebody, if I do put this in my shop available, that, they're going to focus in on the Halloween. Like maybe, again, since it's not 31 days, it's going to be 30 days. There is going to be that last page that they can make the 31st day. Maybe they watch a horror movie every day in Halloween in the month of October, and they can journal about what they did. There's a lot of people that use these journals to put the ideas in, write their quotes, and so forth. I use my journals like this a lot of times for if I travel too, as well, with my husband, or if he's done something. It's like my journal for us of what we did, what he did. Like if he had a great game at golf, I'll quick scribble that note in one of these. This one is just more themed. So I hope that answers. Or like I'm one also. So we've got all of these pockets, and I am one to take a scratch piece of paper, write an idea down, and then tuck it into the pocket. So you've got these little hidden messages that go all throughout the book. So yeah, I would definitely do that. But I don't know what I'm doing with this one yet. The whole thing is fictional. It's not true. It's this made up story that Tracy Fox from Tracy Fox Creative, her and her partner put together. There is a video on her channel that she reads it, and that's all she does. She just reads the story, and you see the images from her kit, coming through on this. The reason why I asked if anybody is a Stephen King fan is because this story just brought back so many memories of Rose Red. So again, that's why I asked if anybody here likes Stephen King, because he did a made-for-TV movie miniseries. Do you remember those? Do you remember the made-for-TV miniseries? The 3 nights? Yeah, I'm old. And those were the movies that I liked from him, because he always made his made-for-TV. So I knew I could watch it. And this just reminded me of that story. It's a wonderful movie. It's a really good movie. Very good. But it does deal with the supernatural as well. And not everybody's into the supernatural. I mean, again, I was good with this and Rose Red, but yeah. Let's see. No for Stephen King, but you did watch Cujo. Yeah, that was probably not a good one to watch. Um, and again, that was somebody else. He always, when there was an interview with him, and he always said that he never liked it when somebody else made his movies because not everybody could watch them. And that's why you have The Shining with Jack Nicholson, which I cannot watch that one. But he made his version of The Shining with Rebecca De Mornay and the guy from Wings. Let's see. I discovered you today watching videos and you were making cards. Then as I was watching one of your videos, the live notification, so I went, well, I'm glad you're here, Joe. That's awesome. Let's see. So you do, oh good, Kim, you do remember miniseries, and that was like a big thing. The made for TV miniseries. Oh yeah, that was a huge thing. Well, Joe, I'm glad you're here. I hope you're getting some ideas. Even though I'm, love the gab. Love the gab. All right, so now this one's dealing with the doctor and his wife taking up residence. And this is the picture that I chose for them. Cute couple. And I'm going to set it into this frame for them. And I'm just going to add a touch of vintage photo in there. Just to accentuate that just a little bit. Now you could also add a piece of acetate to the front of the pictures as you're putting these together or putting these in. I'm choosing not to do that. There we go. So we have that. This is the base. And then they do research. So as you read the story, so how did I come up with these images here? Here's a picture of what the Crafty Hall eventually looks like. So what I'm doing is I'm finding this statement in the early spring. So here I'm finding that statement in the story. And this is a freebie that you can download from her website. Can't find it. Let's see. It's in here. It was in here. It's in here somewhere. Oh, it was in the early spring, so it's actually at the top. It was 1863 that work began, da-da-da-da-da. And then it goes through all of these different things. So it was the doctor's wife, Violet, who did research. She wanted to do the research of this location and everything else so that she could build it up. So that's where she learned about the plague, that this area had suffered a plague at one point. And then come into this where after that there was a cemetery built. So she realized that there was a cemetery built. And now, but this journal is from the perspective of Jeffrey and Rose, the two latest ones who get the case going. But it's this whole story, and that's how I'm building them up and pulling out these pieces to say, okay, she did research. She wanted to learn about her town. She wanted to learn what was going on. She went to the local library and read newspaper clippings and looked at books. And all of this is part of the ephemera that that Tracy developed. Now, you're choosing what ephemera to use. You know, she didn't say, okay, this is all for this section here and all of that. You get to choose, you know, what ones you want to work with and what ones you don't. And there's huge, huge amount of choices available. So I did print day 3 twice so that I could have just a little bit more of a choice. And what I did with the base is I folded it over and then I sewed it. So it's going to give me a pocket here. And the way, depending on how I put it in, I could also have a pocket back here as well. Because we've got our piece in there. And I know that this now is going to go onto this side. No, this could actually go here if I wanted to. So that could go there. And then I have another one here that could be a journal that could sit over here with that tag on top. And we can put our research papers on top of that. This could be a journal card. But I don't think I want that to be a journal card, actually. I really do think I think I'm going to have that sit there. And then when we flip, I'm going to have the house sit right here. And that will be somewhat framed. What I just need to do is add a little bit of vintage photo around the outside. Well, hello, Brian. You snuck in there. Good to see you. And we are going to get this glued down in place. Flip that over. Done that twice now, right? All right, we're going to have a third time. Before I disconnect with y'all, we're going to have a third time. All right, we've got that. And, of course, so just remember with glue, if you move fast enough, you can get it off the page. Yep. Okay, let's try that again. And it's really sticky when you get it back down. Oh, there we go. Looks nice. Perfect. All right, and we're definitely going to get this down. I want this to go like that, or I can actually have it go just like that. And I think that's what we're going to do. So we're going to add glue there. And we're going to come up. So we're going to make this one a pocket. And then what I like to do is put my finger by that glue so that I know, okay, I can't go past that point. And we're going to get that stuck down. Oh, Joe, you like Stephen King movies? Yeah, again, only the ones that he did for TV. All right, and there we go. And we're going to add some black lace to that one as well. I'm going to tear this. And we're going to put that there, and I am going to grab my lace. I think we're going to do the same thing. So I'm going to put some glue down on that. I'm going to push that down, and to put that in place, I'm going to use a piece of black cardstock. It's one of my scraps. And I'm going to glue this behind it. So I'm trapping the lace in behind. Oh my, somebody's screaming. Oh my goodness. And then I'm going to cut around this. So now we've got that piece there. And I do keep these. And then I took some of my sari silk and I used black soot distress ink and villainous potion. Oh yeah. It was awesome. So to just have these different colors. Let me get this glued down. Now you can certainly take this and you can make that, excuse me, a belly band as well. All you have to do is just glue on each side. But we already have one over there, so I'm going to glue this whole thing. Or you can make it a pocket. That's something that you can do as well. So why don't we do that? Because I have this piece here. And we can make it a pocket. And again, I'm not going to make sure it's straight. I want it to have that quirkiness to it. And then I have this. And I need to look. For some ephemera pieces. Oh, no. There's pieces that I'm missing. Well, at least I thought. Yeah, there's pieces I'm missing. Hang on. Because I should have keys. Where are my keys? I'll find them. There we go. Found them. So she even gave keys. And we're going to very carefully ink these up. This is not going to be pretty. Because again, they take residence. So we have our keys. I think I want to take this. And I'm going to take that. Nope, I liked it the other way. All right, everyone, keep your fingers crossed that I do not staple my fingers. All right. And we got an X on that. And now I'm just going to glue that down. And I am going to use my Fabri-Tac. You know, I love Fabri-Tac. I really do. But boy, it's very difficult. I'm going to put that right down onto the paper. And then we'll put that there. And we'll clip that for a moment. So now on this one, we have a pocket. You have actually, there's 3 pockets. So this is a pocket. You have a pocket just behind this, and then there's another pocket behind that. So you've got multiple places where we can hide our messages in. And then this, of course, is, you know, our journaling spot. And that's going to, I think I'm actually going to sit this one in the center like this. And you can actually do something like that. So you've got these differences where one is sewn, one's not. Because this is actually, you know, I want to do that. No, see how I changed my mind? And here comes the cardboard. Now, I do take my cardboard. I don't make it the same exact size. And as I said, this cardboard's pretty thick. Sorry for the scratching sound. I am going to go around the edge of it just to make it a little darker. We'll glue that down. We're going to ink around this. And then we're going to get this on there. And then I'm going to push on it to flatten it. And I still have dimension, even though I'm doing this, but I don't have as much. And I want to use the cardboard. I don't want to put it in my trash. But that cardboard is like super duper thick. And there we go. Now we have that. And we're going to have that one sitting like this. And we're going to have this one sitting flat. And of course my glue's got to clog up. See, they do clog, people. Anybody that tells you they don't, I think they're silly. All right, we got that. I'm going to put that down there in the corner. So you can journal up in here, and you've got this all in here. And then I'm going to put these two together because I'm all about also the interaction. You know, how can these pieces work together to create, excuse me, a different element? So I'm going to take these, I'm going to glue these together like that, not that far. And then I'm going to go here, here, and here. And now we've created a pocket on the inside. All right, and you can see they're coming out from underneath as well. If anybody would walk in here right now, they would think that a bomb exploded or my room fell apart. Okay. What are we about, an hour and a half in? Does anybody have any questions? Oh, that's why that's not working right. I'll fill that back up. Anything that you have any questions about, you know, like glue. Somebody had a question on glue. And we talked about it. Sorry if you heard me gulping. I had to take a sip of my iced tea. All right, now I haven't also punched any holes. Okay, let's remove that. I haven't, and we can put something here. Again, some of these spaces are going to be filled in. So remember, you have a pocket all the way in the back, and then we have a pocket here. Now you can certainly, I could have divoted into this. I didn't, and I should have, but that's okay. It's just a double pocket, so wherever they go, they'll be able to do that. And that gives more. You can even journal up in here as well. And I'm sure I'll have extra tags and stuff that will go in. All right, so that is what this is looking like so far. So here we have, you know, basically, we have 3 days. I'm just pushing this up just a little bit. We now have completed 3 days out of 30. So I have 27 to go. We also added 1 page for the courtship of Jeffrey and Rose. When it comes to this. And you can already see, I mean, she's starting to puff. You know, it's definitely going to be alligator. You can see all of this is starting to just come out. I just got to make sure that I put something in the center here to come out. But I don't think it's going to be too bad. I don't think we're really going to have that much, you know, of an alligator. All right. So we have all of these pieces. There's all kinds of interaction that we've got going on. We've got tuck spots. on both sides of this one. Remember, this here's a pocket. This here's a pocket. We have a sliding, frame that came off the wall of our wallpaper. We have a pocket. We have a pocket. We have a flip. We have a tuck. That's here. We have a pocket. We have a pocket. Here's our keys for the doctor and his wife, Violet. That's what Crafty Hall starts to look like, or will look like. And then we have this and some of the research that was done as well, too. All right, so that's what we've got so far. I'll probably do a couple more videos just showing some more of the days. I'm not going to be able to film every single day that I do. Because this is, I'm actually putting a thought process into this thing. And all of that fun stuff. So I'll probably show probably anywhere from 2 to 4 more videos showing a couple days in there. There won't be lives. This will be the last live that I do on the Crafty Hall, but they'll do lives where it's in real time as I'm crafting in there. So you'll see those scattered throughout. So pre-recorded lives, let's say it that way. All right, so probably anywhere from 2 to 4. And then I will come back with the final flip through to show you what this completely looks like. I kind of started this a little bit later, like halfway through June. So I'm kind of a little bit behind when it comes to that. Probably next week for our live, we can have some fun with some watercolors if we want, or, you guys let me know. What would you like to see? Would you like to see a detailed card? I would like to head into that range there. And I think I'm going to go back to my normal time. I was supposed to be out during the day, but because of the heat wave, they actually canceled the picnic, which was a very smart thing to do. Yeah, we're hitting some digits here. And everyone couldn't fit in the house, so I get that. So that's why I did it at this time. So I'm probably going to go back to the normal time, 1, 2 o'clock Eastern. Joe, you are absolutely able to join any time that you would like. I am so glad that you were here. My normal time, Joe, is on Saturdays, like 1, 2 p.m. Eastern, on Saturdays. That's usually when I do that. I was thinking, I know I'm not going to do 6 o'clock again, because this kind of like really threw me off schedule. What I might do is change them change it to like 3, 4 o'clock. Because then I can get some of the stuff done in the morning and then take care of what I need to at night. So we'll see. It'll be surprised. But I'm going to, in the community post, I'm going to post again so you can comment, what would you like to see? A detailed card? And if it's a card, what type of card do you want to see? Do you want to see just the techniques of watercoloring? Do you want to see more ink smooshing? Do you want to see paste? Or do you just want me to say, okay, you know what? We're just going to come up with a type of card and just have at it, and let's see what we come out with. You guys can let me know. I hope you get notifications, Joe. That's a very, very horrible thing. Poor Gwen. She's always telling me, I was not notified. I was not notified, and I can't control it. So hopefully you will be. Just keep an eye on the community. I like to make announcements in there as well to give a heads up. Hey, I'm going to be doing this, or hey, I'm going to be doing this, and all of that fun stuff. But guys, thank you so, so much for joining me today. I hope you had fun. I hope I answered any questions that you had. Again, if you're not a journaler, it's it's not, again, it's not for everybody, but just look at what we did. It's collaging, it's inking, it's using a focal point and coming around that. You don't need to have stamps to have your focal point, you know, like Biddy says. For those of you that know Biddy, she's right. You know, you can use digitals if you have a printer. You may not have a printer though. So again, there's all these different ways that we can do that. And I think what I'm going to do next week um is I'm really leaning towards watercolors, not using a stamp, just doing simple strokes to create an image on front of a card. So let me know. I'll put that in there as one of the choices, and then you guys will let me know. Guys, enjoy your weekend. If you are involved in this heat wave, please make sure that you and your family are staying safe. Stay cool. It's a perfect time that I'm using to say, nope, I can't do it. I need to rest. So I don't have to go outside. Stay where it's cool, but please make sure you're staying safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care. Remember, always be creative, everything that you do. And I will see you next weekend, and you'll see me throughout the week. Take care, guys. My heart to each and every one of you. Till next time, take care.